Well, City, of course, lost the opening game of the season down at Spurs, but that was a different City team, and arguably a different Spurs team as well. The Blues appeared to be on the verge of signing Harry Kane at that stage. He didn't play in the match. I presume he'll play in this game, though, for Spurs today. Would he have made a difference for City if the Blues had signed him? Who knows? Now, on the way to the game today, I was invited to and met a guy who has a huge memorabilia collection. I've always said that it doesn't matter how much memorabilia you've got, how many games you've been to, where you live in the world, whether it's India, Australia, Failsworth or wherever, there's no one City fan better than another City fan. But there are some amazing ones who do extraordinary things and have massive collections. I wish I could afford the collection I'm about to show you from Alan, who doesn't live too far away from the ground. This is his collection of Manchester City memorabilia. Well, Alan, this is quite an impressive collection. What made you start this, and how many items have you got?
145, I think, and there's 3 more on the way this afternoon via Anthony Rawson. So 148, I think it'll be. Oh, sorry, 150, because I bought these 2 last night. So
your whole house is sort of like a shrine to City. They must be your entire life, are they?
Well, I started going in 1964, and my dad took me first game. Derek Kevin scored hat-trick, and they won 5-0, and I've been hooked ever since. Yeah.
Do you have a wife?
No, unfortunately, he passed away in 1999. But I wouldn't have got away with this otherwise, I don't think.
What's your most precious item, would you say?
I think the old main road here, looking from the main stand on the old scoreboard, because I stood there one of my first games. Liverpool at home, first game back in the old First Division. Colin Bell scored the winner in the 89th minute, so I think that one probably. But this one here has got all the programmes from the 1969 Cup run, all the run to, and I went to every one of those. 84,569 in 1934.
You weren't there, were you?
No, I'm not that old, no. And the main stand with no other covers, no Kifax roof. That's one of my favourites as well.
That 5-1 with Andy Hinchcliffe scoring the header. That was, and he signed that, of course, because most of these items are signed, aren't they? Yeah,
they all signed, yeah. So, but the old shirt one, that's good. Neil Young Cup final. Rodney, I loved him, obviously. It's a big part of my life, and I kick every ball, and I even go to training ground to get these things signed up. The old kickbacks there, that's the turnstile we used to go in. My son bought that for me. And the Riyad Mahrez corner, he's one of my favourites.
You've also, of course, got the dog.
Yeah, he's got Immunity Dog, got 1,800 followers on Twitter. And Aguero signed his coat, along with Cancelo, Rodri and Mahrez, because we went to the unveiling at the ground.
So City play Spurs today. What are you expecting
today?
I'm
hoping for Valley on Ice again. Somebody's put it on this morning. And Peter Barnes last night was talking about the goal when we won 5-0. So I'm hoping, not tempting fate, that we'll get another 5.
Well, that's quite a collection. Let's find out now at the game who's here, who can I talk to, who will I bump into, and how will City go on against Spurs.
I think the game at when we won the championship, we had to play Tottenham at Main Road, and I think we won 2-1 or something. It was a bit of a game as well. But we played. That's a game that sticks in my mind. That we played. We needed to win the game as well.
City today don't need to win this, I suppose, in theory, do they?
Yeah, but there's no such thing as we don't need to win. You win every game. This attitude of this team and this club now is that you win. You don't go out there to be second fiddle. And whatever you think of games, there's no easy game, simple as that. We've got a great side, a good side, they've been built up over the years. Pep's done a fantastic job, and we just got to continue in the way we're playing.
No Oh, we've got some great players. Have you got a favourite in this team?
No, they're all favourites for me. I don't have individual favourites, you know. Tom Finney at Preston was my favourite player.
Around the Premier League at the minute. Earlier today, West Ham and Newcastle drew 1-1.
I presume, particularly you, will remember Mike Summerby, will you?
Yeah, just. My dad will know him better than me. But yeah, I remember him. I've had a few chats with Mike Summerby over the years, yeah.
Is that your dad there? Do you remember Mike Summerby?
Oh yeah.
How good was he?
Oh, he's magic. On that wing, he was unbelievable.
How does he compare to the players today?
I reckon he'd been part of it if he was the same age now.
I reckon he'd be too modest to say that.
No. I think.
Have you passed on the knowledge? Do you know? I mean, you lifted the trophy, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually had a speak with him on that day, and he's a really good guy, and I love him. Yeah, I think he's, even though I never got to see him live, I think he's still one of my favourite players.
We should explain, when I say you lifted the trophy, when and how, where did you do that?
So obviously I did it here last season when we won the Premier League trophy. I had a brain surgery, so City obviously reached out and said, would you like to do it? Pep said it himself, so obviously I couldn't deny it. It was probably my favourite moment of my entire life. It was amazing.
And how are you doing now?
Yeah, well, we got the all clear last year, so yeah, it's been great.
Fantastic news. Steve, I know you're a Spurs fan, so what are you expecting today?
I'm expecting a big Spurs victory.
Really?
Spurs have lost 3 on the bounce. City are the best team in the world. We're going to win. That's football. Yeah, I mean, you know, anything out of this game would be an absolute bonus. But, you know, we beat you in the first game of the season, so stranger things have happened.
Are you glad Harry Kane didn't join City?
Of course. I mean, he's one of the best strikers in the world. So you've got enough good players. You don't need him. Leave him alone.
So before today's game, I went into a fella in his house where he's got loads of City memorabilia. You got any?
Yeah, I've got paintings of Main Road. I've got well, a couple of Main Road. The one I think the Ginger Wigs sells it. That's the latest one I just got. Loads of programmes going back to the 50s. I've been coming since the 50s.
What's your most treasured possession then?
With Colin Bell, I've got a top Colin Bell sign and a Colin Bell signed photograph. He signed it 3 times, funny enough. But yeah, that's the most, because he was my favourite player.
Spurs, is that a fixture that fills you for the dread, or are you quite optimistic?
Yeah, historically it would do. The way we're playing at the moment, it doesn't. I think we'll win today. I reckon a goal in each half, 2-0 City. But who knows? Look what's just happened. Norwich are 1-up at Liverpool, against Liverpool, so who knows? But let's just hope we can get this one, because I think if we get this one, we can stay ahead of the game.
What about the Harry Kane factor?
Nah, I've given up with him now. I'm glad we didn't get him, to be honest.
Yeah, but he could score today. He could upset the party.
He could do. I'm more worried about Son. If he's playing, is he playing?
Not seen the team.
No, but I'd be more worried about him. He always gives a bit of trouble, doesn't he?
That's your friend, and she's not here today, is she?
No, because sadly Steph passed away on Wednesday, and myself and lots of City fans are distraught by the loss of a great friend who came to the matches with us. It's my birthday today, and I just wanted people to remember my special friend who came to the matches with me as my carer, and she sadly passed away on Wednesday, and I'm absolutely distraught. Words can't describe what an absolutely wonderful person she was. She always had a smile, and out of a family of Reds, only her and a granddad, and I've heard today a brother and a sister were City fans, all the rest are United fans. I'm just going to miss her so much. She's amazing. She was amazing.
On behalf of everybody who's watching this, I'm sure will want to say this as well. I offer you my deepest condolences.
Thank you.
And you're paying tribute to her today, how do you like doing this? So she's here in spirit, and hopefully, I know it's got no consolation, but hopefully City win today.
Yeah, I wasn't going to celebrate my birthday, but as people keep saying to me, Steph would be quite cross with you if you don't go to the match and have a good time in her memory, and I hope for a City win.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
40 minutes today, we're going to have a minute's applause for a fan we've lost, and I've just been speaking to a lady who's lost her friend. I know we all want City to win, and that's the be all and end all, but this is a football family, isn't it?
Very much so. Anything like this affects everybody because we are a close club. We've always been a close club. The fans always stick together. We've been a community club, as it's stated now on the merchandise and the advertising. We've always stuck together at City. From the days when we had nothing, even now, it doesn't matter. Anybody, we lose a fan, we all pay homage to him or her because we stick together. We are a family-orientated club.
If ever you needed a bigger reason to win today, it's to pay honour to those two particularly, isn't it?
Of course, yeah, of course. I'm sure, we'll share emotions at the right time if we're having a time allocated to the person. We'll show our appreciation of them. Like I say, we're all City supporters and we all stick together regardless.
I thought it was breathtaking. I thought it was a great entertainment. I thought it was great advertisement for the Premier League. A bit of brilliance, and when a team are that good at counter-attacking, the timing of the ball from Harry Kane, I don't know there's many players in world football that see that ball. Son in behind, and it was a great start for them, give them something to hang on to, but City were relentless. And what you see is somebody's going to make a mistake. Somebody's going to switch off eventually. And unfortunately for Spurs, it was Lloris again, which got us back into the game. But City maintain that the second half. They keep that standard. It's just relentless pressure. Somebody's going to switch off and they'll go on and win the game.
Well, it's massively disappointing, really. We've got no margin for error. I still don't understand how we lost it, really. I kept thinking they were offside, but they obviously weren't. So you've got to hand it to Spurs in that respect, but very difficult to play against. It was a bit of an Italian masterclass, actually, which we're not used to Tottenham doing. So.
I mean, they showed some quality. I know it's also time wasted.
Yeah. Well, these are the irritating things, but there was a lot of quality, particularly at the front. And more than once they broke through us. I mean, like I said, I was convinced they must be offside, but they weren't. So
you look at Kane and wish City had signed him now.
No, I don't like him after today. We can do better than that. I mean, it's one game, isn't it? But we probably won't lose again now, right through. You never know, you see. Do you remember losing at Newcastle about 3 or 4 years ago, and everyone goes, "Oh dear, we've had it now," and we went on a run. So we'll see. The assumption is Liverpool aren't going to drop any points, but it doesn't work like that, does it?
Title race is still over for me because I've said it and I'm not going to go back on it. But you've got to track your men. We've got 2-2, brilliant penalty from Mahrez, get ourselves back in a game and then switch off thinking it's done. Cancelo's fuming at the end, sitting down, unable to understand and contemplate what's happened, failed to track his man. For me, we've called Ederson's goalkeeping into question a few times over recent years. Brilliant distributor of a football. His shot stopping is questionable, makes some great saves, but them today, especially the one that got ruled out for VAR, he's a very lucky boy because that was a very terrible bit of goalkeeping down to his right hand side. Poor game from him, distribution wise, shot stopping wise, all over the place. Found himself in no man's land as well a couple of times and probably could have been more. Should have scored more goals, not creative enough in terms of when we were on the front foot and when we got in behind Spurs, and then when we did get the ball in wide areas, we didn't have a man in there to target. Dalat, for me, whether Pep says he's ready or not, if he's not ready, why is he on the bench, Pep? That's what I want to ask you. If he's not ready, why is he on the bench? If he's not ready to come on and play a part in the Premier League game, what's he doing on the bench then? He's proved it in the academy. It was crying out for him at 2-1. Get him in there, fireballs in, Kevin De Bruyne, and Dalat will prove his worth. You're not going to get him to prove it unless you give him a chance, are you? We lost the game, we move on to Everton next week, but these are the start reminders that you've got to be at your best against the top 7 sides in the division if you want to win a title. And these are the games that make up your Premier League for me.
how can you explain that? There's no way on earth you can explain it. We never look like we're going to win, did they? Never look, do we?
Are you worried now at all in the bigger
No,
picture?
no, not at all.
Just a blip.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Come on,
What do you make of it?
I make it that if they'd have come out, they'd have beat us easy. They beat us easy on the break every time, didn't they? And we had all the play and we didn't do enough in the game. We should have tried harder than that. That was
It's only 3
a
points.
poor defense.
It's only 3 points.
I think we'll still do it. We'll still do it.
I just thought that Spurs counter-attacking was just pretty good, but it was just unfortunate from City that they were that penalty I thought was a turning point, but it turned out Spurs went on the attack and that was just it. But I don't think City were bad, they were the dominant team, but Spurs just had that counter-attacking edge at the end of the day.
Maybe that's the kick up the backside and now it's wins all the way, who knows?
Well that's it maybe. Hopefully, that's what it is. Need a wake-up call if anything, but it's just unfortunate today, but again, as you say, we move on on to the next match, as I say.
It's like you come over for this game specifically.
I have. We're from Derry and the North Ireland, so we're over for this game. That's
probably not
back. Thank you.
You won't be quite as happy as you'd
No,
hoped.
exactly, that's it. Thank you very much.
Well, Steve, you called it. Spurs are going to win the game.
I did call it. I think we were the favourites going into the game. I mean, that's a ridiculous game of football. I just loved it. I mean, from end to end, crazy stuff, disallowed goals, penalties. I'm speechless. Who'd have thought we'd have done the double over City? It's just mad. But I still think you'll win the league. You're just the best team out there. But
Can you tell me what the lottery numbers are tonight?
I mean,
Did you seriously think Spurs would win that when you said that to me beforehand?
I mean, I think you've always got a chance with we've got some good players. I mean, obviously we could play you 20 times here and this is the only time we win, but you never know, do you? Football's so mad. That's why we love it. You just don't know, do you? That's what keeps us coming back.
Well done on your win.
Thank you.
Well, Paul obviously played for both clubs. We think of you as a Blue, really. What did you think of that game?
I really couldn't see City losing it at one point, first half. I know they went one down, but they were all over them and they couldn't get out of their own half, Spurs. Second, do you know when you've got Son and you've got Kane in the team, you've always got a fighter's chance, don't you? And disappointing for City, but I still think they'll go on and win the league.
So you have every confidence they'll still win the title?
Yeah, without doubt.
Well, I spoke to you before the game. In front of all your memorabilia, you won't want any memorabilia from that game. You want to forget it, won't you?
No, it's the dog's fault. He's having no tea tonight. Immunity dog's let us down, hasn't he?
What went wrong then, do you think, today?
I thought by their own standards, Rodri and Bernardo weren't up to it. Kevin started slowly, had a great second half. Phil Foden, honestly, second half, I think he took the ball twice. I never saw him. So it's just one of them days. Nothing fell in the box for him, did it? And it's just one of them days, I think. But I'm still confident we'll win it.
City took a bit of a caning, I suppose you'd have to say.
Yeah, well, you see, you actually, if you look, you think if anybody scored, it'd be him, wouldn't it? But well, I thought Diaz was maybe could have done better with the header for the third goal, but well, I don't know. It's just one of them days, I think, Ian, to be honest.
We City fans take these things on the chin and get them into proportion, don't we?
Yeah, but I've got used to winning now, so it does hurt a little bit, but well, I've had a good day, so can't take that off me, can they?
Well, that doesn't happen very often, does it? City lose a game 3-2. 2 VAR decisions that went for City. A penalty scored by Riyad Mahrez that seemed to turn it around. I thought City were going to go on and win it then. And then that last few minutes winner, and Harry Kane had to be on the score sheet, didn't he? Bigger picture, City still in the title race, still in charge of the title race, but that is a damaging blow for sure. Steve Mangan called it before the game. Glad I got to speak to him again afterwards. Thanks very much to Timpson, to the MusicMagpie and the RRG Group for their support, and thanks to you for watching and your support as well. I'll do it all again at Everton next weekend. In the meantime, have a great week. Last week I'd promised him Ray Varady would be on my my podcast. Fingers crossed he'll make it this week. But whatever it is, keep it blue. And you know what? Even on a day like today, it doesn't dampen my spirits one little bit. There's nothing I'd rather be, because isn't it great to be a blue?